Yo everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about how to make a fan film. I have made plenty of fan films in my lifetime, so I'm going to be showing you guys how to make one on your own. I have one final fan film coming out. It's called Spider-Man Prom Night. It's going to be dropping very soon. You guys have probably already seen the announcement video. If you guys haven't, you should go really watch that. So yeah, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a Spider-Man fan film. These are tips that I've used, throughout my years of making them, and they've been really fun, but there's also been a lot of things that you need to, there's a lot of things that you have to know when you're making these movies. So, without further ado, we're going to be getting to this tutorial. There will be videos, playing on the screen while I'm talking. So this video is obviously inspired from the Lonely video, Now, the Lonely Spider made a good video about this, a while back, and while that video gave great pointers on how to make a Spider-Man movie, it's very outdated and left a few minor points I felt could have been included in the video. So let's get to how to make a Spider-Man fan film. This is a scripted video, by the way, and I am a cool person. I have made plenty of awesome Spider-Man movies, or at least what? Let's go about how to make a Spider-Man fan film, or at least what I've used to go about making one. Understanding the character. The most important thing in any movie, whether that be acting or writing, is understanding the character you're acting or writing. You really need to be able to get into the mind of this character you're working with. Whereas for Spider-Man, he's a teenage kid who struggles with school, talking to girls, and trying to make ends meet. Once the mask is on, however, he's a wisecracking superhero who, even with being ridiculed by the citizens and police force of New York City, Even with being ridiculed by the citizens and police force of New York City, he still has an obligated responsibility to helping people. He fights for his Uncle Ben. He fights for his Uncle... God damn it, dude! He fights for his Uncle Ben. Boom. What the hell? Boom? Why the hell is that in the script? If you have the basic understanding of understanding Spider-Man, then you try to find the same understanding for any other character you're writing. So pretty much just try to understand Spider-Man before you write this movie, and try to understand every other character that you're writing so that they feel as real as possible. And when you're writing dialogue as well, make sure that's real. Like some people, I've read a couple Spider-Man scripts where they're trying to make their dialogue seem so 60s, where it's just corny stuff that people wouldn't actually say in real life. So just when you're writing a script, make sure it's modernized. Really put yourself into the mind of this character. What would he say in this situation? What would he do in this situation? Don't put oh shucks, it's Spider-Man. Never do that, by the way. If you're writing a movie and Spider-Man drops in, don't have the people say, oh, it's Spider-Man. We can obviously see it's Spider-Man. And I feel like something that a lot of lazy writers do is instead of showing the audience what they're trying to convey or whatever, they have Peter Parker talking over the thing. Obviously Spider-Man talks to himself, that's who he is. He talks to himself, we all talk to ourselves. But I feel like that's another lazy thing that people do in fan films, is they just have Peter Parker telling us the story rather than us actually experiencing what's going on. And I have made those mistakes a few times, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember. So yeah, once you have all that down, I think you're ready to move on to the next step, which is the plot. Actually, before we go into the plot, we're actually going to go into budget. Budget is a huge thing that I have, for one, experienced a lot. It's a huge problem. Let's just say you have a good plot, right? And you have no idea about how to go along with that plot. You may not have a very big budget. If you're doing a Spider-Man movie, it usually requires a lot of costumes, props, and more. What I recommend doing if your budget is small is trying to alter your plot into fitting it in, into fitting your budget. What the fuck, dude? Just make sure you're doing anything so just make sure anything you think of doing is something you can actually do. So don't write a huge action sequence with Spider-Man fighting 38 bad guys unless you know you can actually do that. If you have the resources, if you have the actors, if you have the actors and the materials to do so. So just keep that in mind when you're writing as well. Think about your budget, think about what's doable, what's not doable. If you're writing a swinging scene or something like that, think about how you're going to do that swinging scene. If you're writing a scene where Spider-Man's kissing a girl, think about if your two actors are going to be comfortable doing that. Just questions like that you want to ask yourself. Just ask yourself those questions when you're thinking of ideas like that, stuff like that. Try to make this movie work in the best of your ability. And then we're going to go to the plot. We're going to go back to plot. Let's go to that. So you have all the characters you want to use in your movie. Now it's a matter of thinking of a good plot which fits all these characters into it. For starters, try jotting down some ideas first, getting basic points of what you want to do in this movie, and then try fitting that into your plot. Most people often look back at the comics when trying to... Alright, so yeah, this is a good point. Most people look at the comics when trying to find a plot, which is great too, but it's a nice way to like take a nod back to the source material by looking at the comics and like basing your movie off of that. But a good way that I found to do this, there's two ways I'm going to show you. There's one way where you just take a classic story from a comic, my comics are over there. I was gonna grab a Game Informer magazine with them. But yeah, take a classic, Spider-Man comic, maybe like a Spider-Man, The Death of Gwen Stacy or something like that, just a classic story, and then modernize it, make it more up to date, change up a little bit, add another plot, like fit it into a bigger plot. And then, maybe just pretty much just taking a classic story and modernizing it and making it something somewhat new. That's the first way you can do that. The second way is making something entirely different. This is what I usually do. So if you guys watch Tangled Hero, Spider-Man Tangled Hero, link in the description. I'm actually not going to be putting it in the description because that's too much work. So just go to my channel and you'll see it. If you watch Spider-Man Tangled Hero, you know that Quentin Beck, I actually altered his origin a little bit. In the comics, he's like a special effects artist or something like that. And in my movie, he is Peter Parker's best friend in high school who gets jealous of Peter Parker and tries to become a superhero just like Spider-Man. So I try to change up the villains a little bit, try to change up some characters a little bit to like make it new, something different, something that you have never seen before. So that's what I recommend you guys doing, like, just making something new, entirely different, entirely new, something that you've never seen before. Although taking a comic story and modernizing it is pretty cool too. Either one works, but I recommend just, making something entirely new, something that no one has ever seen before. Making it your own, make this movie your own. Like, this is your creation, so you want it to be something special. Now, so you got the plot, cool, awesome. Now you're going to need a badass costume. All right, so there's a lot of things that I have to say about costumes as well. So when I think of Spider-Man, obviously what comes to mind is his iconic red and blue suit, right? If you're making a Spider-Man movie, you're going to need his iconic suit. And there are plenty of ways you can go about this. What I prefer is asking someone on Instagram to like make a digital pattern for you. Pretty much what that is like it's like a digital PDF, right? And you can ask anyone on Instagram like who makes those. You can send them in a design, completely original, something that you drew up, like, just a basic thing of what you would want your Spider-Man suit to look like for your movie. Send it to them. They'll make it for you. You have to pay them, of course. And then you send that pattern to Zentai that doesn't exist anymore. Print Costumes or Hero Stein, whatever. Print Costumes is better. Send it to them, and then they'll make it for you, you feel me? That's, like, the best way to go about making a suit for your movie. That's like literally the best way. Like, if you just think about, okay, I'm making a Spider-Man movie and I want a suit, I want something cool. Draw an idea that you have, like your own original Spider-Man suit, and then send it to them and they'll make it for you. Then you send it to a printing service and then they'll make it for you. I feel like this is way better, honestly, because like I said, like I keep going on about this, but like making this movie your own original thing, like making this your movie. Like if you just buy a Tom Holland costume, I feel like that's not you in the suit. That's not you. That's just Tom Holland. Like when I look at that suit, I see Tom Holland. I don't see you. But whereas if you have your own suit, like I had for Tangled Hero, which is I'm looking at it right now. If you look at that, like if you see that suit, you think that's Matthew. That's my Spider-Man. I mean, that's like when I see that suit, I think that's my Spider-Man. So, but if I were just to have like a TASM suit, I would see Andrew Garfield almost immediately. So see what I mean? Just like getting this movie to be as completely new and original as possible, something that no one has ever seen before. All right, so now we're gonna go on to casting. So you have cool suits. Now you're gonna need people to be in this movie. A lot of people complain about not having friends that would want to participate in this movie. Whereas it is Spider-Man. I don't know why I'm wearing a fucking tuxedo right now, but yeah, it is Spider-Man. So you obviously want people to like not go, oh, this is childish, because that's what people are gonna say. Like, this is a Spider-Man movie, so people are gonna automatically assume it's a childish kiddie thing. But whereas if you like share like what the film is about, like kind of like talking more about the cooler parts of it, then that'll get them hooked. Like if you're telling them, because I already knew Mysterio was gonna die at the end, so I thought that was like a dark element. So I included that when I was like telling people about the movie. And so like, okay, shit, someone dies. Wow, that's not very kid friendly. It sounds pretty cool. I'll be in it, dude. So pretty much what I did to find a cast is I didn't really know half these people. Some people I was familiar with, but I didn't really know. So I just like went around my neighborhood and asked people. I know that might seem embarrassing, but like you have to do what you got to do. You know, if you're passionate to make this movie, you got to do what you got to do, man. And yeah, I just did it. So yeah, I got a pretty good cast. But if you're an insecure, shy kid, and you don't really want to go up to people and doing that, probably just go on Instagram. You know, find people, maybe like set up like an ad or something. I don't know. And like only target people in your area and like let them know that this is a Spider-Man movie. If you're a kid, you're probably not gonna be able to find adult actors, and they are obviously gonna require some sort of pay. So I think just asking other like teenagers around your neighborhood or kids, whatever, is probably your best shot at getting a cast right now. So yeah, just go with that. Most people also ask like how do you get so many girls in your movies? Well, I mean, if you look at me, you know, they come to me, man. I'm just playing. Look, how to get a girl in your movie? A lot of people struggle with this, because like I said, like especially if you're asking a girl like, hey, you want to be in my Spider-Man movie? They're gonna immediately think like, they're gonna probably get me as like Mary Jane or Gwen Stacy or something like that. And, like I'm gonna have to do a kissing scene. I'm gonna have to do romance. So that's like the first thing that comes into a girl's mind when you ask them, do you want to be in a Spider-Man movie? Because that's like what they think of. So I don't really know. I mean, it worked out for me. I usually just had Matthew ask the girls. That's what we're doing for prom night, Spider-Man prom night, which is coming soon. I just asked Matthew to like DM. Like we found like 3 girls that looked the part for Gwen Stacy. I just said, yo, DM these people, please. I don't really want to do it. And plus, he's a very attractive man. So, like, you know, obviously they would say yes to him. They probably wouldn't say yes to me, but they would say yes to him. So, yeah. That's how we're going to get our lady actresses. Right now, as of this moment, as I'm filming, the announcement video has not came out yet, and we are not really that far into casting. But the script is finished. But, yeah. So that's how you would go about casting. And then next is the script. Writing a script. What can I say about script? That's like where the actual video script ends. I fell asleep. But yeah. So to go about writing a script, there's plenty of videos on how to do that. What I usually do is I have on another tab on my computer like the outline of the movie. First, write an outline like of all of the scenes, what goes down in each scene. Make sure it's a good outline, something good, you know, something like that you can use for reference when you're writing the script. And then go to your script, title it, make the first page a title, and then just start. You know, get a professional script writing, like software or something like that, or a formatter, because I use Google Docs, but I have like a formatter that formats everything for me so that it looks like an actual script. So yeah, just, you know, go along with that. Make sure your dialogue is good, realistic. You know, ask yourself, what are these characters going to do in this particular scene? How would they react? What would they do? Stuff like that. And also don't add random scenes into your movie just so that it's cooler, because that also just makes your movie go long really fast. Like it makes it longer for no reason. Like, just when you're writing a script, like just like stick to the plot. Like, don't try to add any extra stuff because it's not needed. It's not necessary. Like, some people have a plot, right, and then they'll just add a random scene of Spider-Man like fighting Black Cat. Okay, I did this. It wasn't really it had no purpose to play in this story. So just focus on your plot first. Like, that's the main thing. Like, just when you're writing a script, focus on your plot. Try to get your plot finished before you try to add any extra scenes. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the script. What else can I say on the script? What else? yeah, so just don't drag it out too long. Don't no one wants to watch a 5 minute scene of Peter and Harry Osborn sitting on a couch talking. If you guys know which fan film I'm referring to, then you guys know which fan film I'm referring to. But yeah, that fan film was actually pretty good though. So, Spider-Man Vengeance was a great fan film. Still one of my favorite fan films to date. But yeah, so yeah, just don't drag your script out. Make sure it's just a good, solid script. There's more videos online for that. So now that you have your script, print it out. I prefer printing it out, putting it in a nice binder just so it looks neat. What we had to do for Tangled Hero is we had to just have it on a phone. I don't know why I did this. We had to have it on a phone and just look at the phone every time, which was kind of annoying because I had a really messed up screen, so you could barely see, and my phone was really tiny as well. But we made it work. I'm probably just gonna end up putting like the script into one of these binders once it's printed out. I have two binders. One is really big. One is really small. This is the one I usually use. It has episodes from the canceled Spider-Man show that I was doing, and then this is just a flyer that we're gonna use as a prop for Spider-Man prom night. Yep, it looks pretty cool. So yeah. Once you have your script, just start filming it, I guess. Get a good camera. I have two. I'm gonna go grab those. So yeah, I have two cameras. Alright, so sorry about the interruption. But I have two cameras. This one right here, this is the one I'm usually using, and this is the one we use for Tangled Hero. So when you're filming, make sure you have a good camera, something good, something that just, it's good quality, you don't want a trash camera, because no one wants to watch a movie that is filmed on something like this. This is my first camera, this right here, this little piece of crap, all right? This is what we used to film my Miles Morales movie that was made 3 years ago, right? So once you have a good camera, make sure you know what you're doing with the camera. Alter the settings a little bit so that it looks cool, like cinematic. I didn't do that with this one. I recently just tampered with the settings, so now it looks way better than it actually did in the movie. For this camera, the settings are set, everything looks good, and yeah. So, there's one side effect, right? If you ask a bunch of kids in your neighborhood, hey, you want to be in a Spider-Man movie? Obviously, they're not actors, right? So, they're not going to know what they're doing. So you as the director, right, you have to help out with that. You have to, don't kind of be pushy with it. Just guide them, tell them what they're doing wrong, try to help them with their mistakes, whatever like that, right? Because these are, if you have actual actors that you got for your movie, then that's a different story, right? But if you just got, this is the more reasonable way that people will do it. But if you just got, friends, stuff like that, you have to help them out with that because they're obviously not actors. A lot of noise in my house. But yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much it on that. It's not really much to say on that. Just help them, coach them with that. Just do your best to make this movie good. Let them know this is your passion project, so you want it to be how you want it to be, all right? Don't let people tell you what to do with your movie, because I've had a lot of people do that. This is I know what I want to do, all right? Just step back, let me do what I'm trying to do, all right? So yeah, that's how you go about that. That's how you direct, really. I mean, just assert dominance, let them know, But yeah. So now that you got your movie filmed, make sure the action scenes are good. I really don't know the first thing about action. I don't really know how to film a good fight scene. I mean, I know how to film a good fight scene. I don't know how to choreograph a fight scene. I'm really lost on that. Maybe one of your friends will. I have a few friends that know a thing or two about fighting, which are gonna help with the film. But make sure your fight scenes are good. Make sure the romance is fluid. Make sure it's good chemistry, maybe have those two actors before they get into a romance scene. Maybe just make sure they're friends or something like that beforehand. Don't just get two random people and assign them to date, because it's obviously going to be really awkward. So like maybe just make sure they're friends beforehand of that, and then yeah, that'll give like a better outcome with the film because they're already friends, so they have chemistry. And then yeah, so let's just say you have your film filmed, and then you're ready to go to editing. So now you're ready to edit. So you bring it to Premiere Pro. That's what I use. That's like the best thing ever. That's what most people use. Don't use iMovie. Seriously, iMovie is super bad. It like you're making a movie here. You're not making a fucking stop motion. All right, you're not making something. You're making something good. You're trying to make something good, right? So you want to use something equally as good, like Premiere Pro. That's like that's a you want to use something good. So yeah, Premiere Pro. That's what I use. And the reason I use Premiere Pro is because it gives access to a lot of features that you would need to actually edit a movie. What I mean by that is color grading. It lets you color grade your production, audio, like tamper with the sound a little bit, just anything you want, really. Masking, just anything. It has everything that you would need to make and edit an actual movie. Whereas iMovie doesn't really have any of that. It doesn't really have a lot to offer. I mean, iMovie is just basic if you want to add a clip and then chop it up, which is probably what I'm gonna have to do for this video. But I didn't want to have to edit this video, right? But I'm gonna have to. So yeah, just use something professional. Web effects. There's tutorials for that. I don't really want to get into that. I personally don't know how to do any effects like that. I always ask somebody that I know. But I'm gonna start learning because if you really want to get into this filmmaking stuff, you have to learn how to do things on your own. There's not always gonna be someone there to like give you the resources, So you got to learn how to do this stuff on your own. So I'm gonna really start learning how to do all that stuff. And yeah, once your movie's edited, put it out to the public. And yeah, that's pretty much how you do it, dude. That's how you make a Spider-Man fan film. I realized towards the end it kind of got more to like how to make a movie more than how to make a Spider-Man movie. Shit. I guess I'd probably get into one more thing. I guess I'll get into like villains, I guess, because Eric did that in his video. So yeah, villains. What should I say about those? Personally, dude, I go for it. Like, I just choose a super cool villain that I want to do, and I just find the best way to do it. Even if it turns out really bad, at least I did it. At least I tried that villain when no one else did. I haven't really seen many people attempt Mysterio, so I went for him, and like it turned out pretty good. Just putting in the effort and at least trying to use a super cool, like one of Spider-Man's super cool villains, is pretty much that just shows the dedication. And so I really think people should use more of the Scorpion. Please, the Scorpion is badass. Someone should please use what else? Who else? He has so many. The Rhino will be cool to see. There's plenty of ways to do him. I was gonna be doing him, but I lost the helmet. It's somewhere, I don't know where it is. It's probably in the landfill somewhere. But yeah, the Rhino, that'd be cool. More of Mysterio, he's super cool. He messes with Spider-Man's mind. That could be really cool if done correctly. What else? Who else? Yeah, just search up, Spider-Man villains, search up whoever. I'm doing the Lizard. The Lizard has never been done, as far as I know. I've seen him in Marvel Knights Spider-Man, in like a short thing, which is pretty cool. But we're doing him in a full feature film. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That's really all I have to say about how to make a Spider-Man movie. Just go for it. Put your all into this. Spider-Man is a cool character, who, if done correctly, could be something super awesome. And yeah, man, just go for it. Make something dope. So that's really all I have to say. Bye.